So, we just had breakfast and we'll be checking out soon. And that's Salvo over there, proprietor. And this is our room where I'll be going into a moment to shoot the photo trails from yesterday. And this is Samantha's room. Very nice. Here. Ciao, Salvo. So, right, I'm going in now to do the photos. And I think I've got the laptop somewhere here. Oh yes, over in the corner. Yes, that's the picture on the wall, marking the end of the photo trail. And let's see if I can do this. It's very difficult, as always, trying to do things with... it might be on the first picture. So that's in Giardini Naxos. And so that was the beginning of the day. I haven't said the day it was. I must admit, I do forget. I think it's Wednesday today. Yeah, June. Oh, she's gone already. Probably into Samantha's room, I expect. They shot off somewhere else, probably. Anyway, lovely. Oh, there they are. Right, Samantha, what day is it today? It's Wednesday, isn't it?
Yes.
What day was yesterday, including the date? Do you know?
Yesterday. Tuesday 11th.
Tuesday the 11th, well done. Right. Yes. So, this is the photo trail for Tuesday the 11th, starting with, that was the first picture, in Scoglietti. So we checked out of the Seagull Hotel, I think. Yes, there's a breakfast. And yeah, so that's the lovely private beach at the back. And June's planning where we're going to go. And although we're going to go quite a long drive to get back to Fleury, she's going to go via the place June and I went on our first trip to Sicily, whatever that was, 15 years ago. And it was the Villa Romana, the Roman villa. Well, palace is the right word. And I remember the mosaics, ancient mosaics. I think it was done about 400 AD. And there was ladies with bikinis. And lots of other stuff when we actually went round. Amazing. So that was the planned route up. Yeah, that's good. If there's any problem, it was navigating to it for lots of reasons. Anyhow, load our luggage after checking out. And looks like we're about to go off, aided by Google Maps navigating, given to Samantha. But of course, I much prefer a paper map, even though it wasn't an ideal map, but it was still very good. And in fact, most of the time I knew where we were and where we were going just by looking on the map and looking at outside. So there's Samantha calling out instructions when she can. June driving, of course. Robin having to just relax. So fairly easy to see the run along the coast from where we've been staying at Scoglietti, and pick up various junctions. Of course, you're looking out for features. Not sure what that was. Perhaps a load of discarded junk, I don't know. So, yeah, checking the route. And that's what made it a bit of an adventure, really. Because when we looked at the end of where we'd actually driven, it was all over the place. Go past various things of interest. Because with better quality images, you'd see what's on those road signs. So recognising where we are there. Going through that town, I can't remember what it was now. Nischemi, I guess. It was certainly a major landmark on our route. And yeah, lovely little statue in the middle of the town with a town square and a tractor. Yes, I'm just concentrating on seeing what mistakes they're making and occasionally stepping in to suggest they go in a particular direction. Yeah, across that wide landscape. I think it probably had been an agricultural area for many centuries, and I believe what little history we found out on where the places were going, Villa di Romana. Yes, my sign language is probably saying, yeah, what do you expect, getting lost, not looking at road signs properly. Well, it doesn't help when there aren't road signs or the road signs are wrong, but most of the time the roads were better than those in England, in their area of Berkshire and Surrey. So, yeah, making their progress. And now, I think it was down there, I could see clearly on the map. But, yes, that's where we're heading for, I think. Yes, but we were going the wrong way. So, had to do a U-turn. Yes, that's twice around that bit of road. So, gradually make it away. And, yeah, I think we're getting closer now. I think. Yes. So that's where you pick up a ticket to go in for the parking. There's the ticket. And park the car. And of course, then they're into the souvenir shops. And there were lots of those. And of course, I enjoyed chatting to various guys there. Like this guy now, I don't remember his name at the moment, sorry about that. And yes, yes, he sold Sicilian limoncello, and we did buy some on the way back out. So, making our way to the place itself, which is, yeah, it's a short walk from the car park. We're thinking of taking a little buggy ride up, but no, said it wasn't too bad to walk. And because we'd done it once before, which was their very first holiday in Sicily. So, yes. So, what's that mean? Money, perhaps? I don't know. Oh, yes. Yes, you've got to pay to go in. So there's the reminding you, is it? Villa Romana da Casale. Perhaps Casale is the place, I don't know. So then we're going into it. And of course, it's absolutely fantastic. And the place has been knocked about over the centuries by various things. So I think that were probably old original ovens, recognising the shapes where they would have done cooking. And carrying on our walk. Yes, whenever we found a shady spot, there's a nice breeze, so it wasn't too bad. Didn't need aircon, out in the open. And June's pointing out something there. Probably the history of the place. Yes, I think it was a very rich gentleman. Probably rich because he probably took the proceeds and labour from the whole area, agricultural stuff. Yeah, it was all very interesting. And of course, some of these things followed on from, whereas the Greeks and many other civilizations had sort of city-states, the Romans put walls around the area they couldn't control or get into, and so the locals, there's me whispering on. So we're starting to see some of the mosaics now. Of course, the camera occasionally turn things around sideways. Incredible. We recognise some of the mosaics, but it was always a surprise. New stuff. Yeah, the text there explains it. Freeze frame, probably. So they had guest rooms. So you would describe this as a palace, I think is the correct word for it. Whenever it was, I think, if I remember rightly, June searched it up and it was about 400 AD. The guy had probably a different guy to that. Don't know, it might be the same chap. And so he built a luxurious place for himself with all the trimmings of baths and gardens and everything else. Small hunt. Yes, hunting was a profession. Of course, that made its way into the English traditions. It followed on from the Romans, I suppose, which is various animals. Now that might be fox hunting, I'm not sure. Difficult to see from here. So all the various types of animals. Yeah, that looks like an archer, I think. Difficult for me to see here. And that looks like deer hunting. Yes. So carrying on round. Lovely mosaics all over the place. And there's some areas, like out in the middle, with what would have been, well, I suppose a central garden with ponds and fountains. Looks as though the work is going on that to get it back to what it was originally. So obviously that's a no-go area. Carrying on, just countless lovely mosaics, and many of them have been restored, so that's like a bit of an argument going on there perhaps. Out into, yeah, I think obviously it changed over the years. Christianity would have made use of various bits of the buildings, particularly those that had been knocked down. I think there was some damage had been done, or significant damage done by a tribe that were called Vandals, and that's where we got the word Vandals from. Right, now that was the mosaic which I eventually found on the far side. Now I did ask for some advice with the ladies with bikinis. So that was about 400 AD, I think. Again, you better double check these things. So, yeah. So a lot of things aren't that new, like playing things now, he says, but there's some more detail there. That looks like more hunting, possibly. Yeah. Oh, yeah, look at that. That's a a lion, and it's got a deer, I suppose that is. And the guy is saying to his mate, yeah, look, that's what we want, but watch out for the lion. Carry on making our way round. Oh yes, that's from the other side. That's why they're upside down, looking across at the women looking down. So then I'm trying to find my way out, and I thought I'd pretty done most of the important stuff, and I get a bit confused. And a guide, young man, said, oh, just go round there and go round to the left. Well, when I went round to the left, it said forbidden entry. So I thought, well, that makes sense. So, but I tried the door and it opened. So I thought, well, in that case, if it was that significant, you'd have thought they'd have locked the door. So I went out, yeah. So I went out, and of course, by going out, I was walking on the mosaics, which is not something they would encourage people to do. Obviously, they've spent a lot of effort getting them back into a decent state. And so, very carefully, I did walk along until the guy shouted out, no, you shouldn't be there. So I said, oh, where should I be? So, no, basically it was a case of going out. So he says, but just carry on round and you follow the signs that are to the next place, and that is the route around and eventually coming to the exit. Met up with the women, they reinforced the message. Yeah, still other mosaics to see. How about that one? That looks like possibly a devil tussling with an angel, could it be? Yeah, well, bother to read the stuff now. You can always freeze frame if you're interested. So, following around, that looks like probably might have been a chapel at some stage, difficult to say. And still carrying on round. Absolutely lovely artwork. I think that was labelled as being a couple of children playing. And out into the open, I think. Yes, exit Ushita. Yes, found it eventually. And I think there was a glimpse of a lizard. Yeah, there we go. Mr. Lizard. So, carry on round. Yeah, had some refreshments. Lovely friendly bars and novelty shops and all the rest of the things. Yeah, so it was then 2:30. So the women caught up. And of course, they're looking at things. Yes, so I had arancini. So I had my couple of arancini, and I think it was Coca-Cola, and they had what they wanted, and then we're back to the car. And another bit of interesting navigation. So now we've got to make our way quite a long way, which is basically following signs for Catania, because we're just inland from Catania up the hill. So we're now checking out. Yeah, got to get through, show a ticket to get out. Yeah, there we go, put the ticket in and had to scan the ticket that time. So, yes, we're off. So through the lovely countryside. Yes, viaducts, not sure when they were built. A few tunnels. And it's getting gradually. You have a glimpse of some cattle there, I think. So that's where we are on the map. So we're approaching, I think that's Catania. So not far now. Yes, and we're sort of picking out on the map where we are and where we're going to, which is Fleri, near Ceferana, Etna, which is sort of halfway up the slopes into Etna, towards Etna, the volcano. So going past some interesting vegetation. And that, very hazy, is Etna in the background. So that's the buildings of the sort of outskirts and suburbs of Catania. And yeah, so now we go through the road toll system to pick up tickets, because north of Catania you actually pay for use of motorway, whereas south you don't. And so near Acireale, where we take the turn off to go inland of the motorway which runs north to Messina. And so there's Etna in the background. That's where we are on the map, I think, or we're heading for. Yes, behind a large lorry, which is quite useful going through the narrow bits with other vehicles. Stay behind the lorry and you're pretty well get through. Yes, that was a good way of doing things. And so I think we're getting close to our destination, and that could be it. Yes, that's the guard dogs of the house belonging to Enrico and Matilda, which is also listed as the office, and it's their original old house, but then they built one across the road. So they've got that. And yes, now who's that guy? Yes, he wouldn't let me ever go on his motorbike, but very sensible. Yeah, so yeah, that's Enrico. Yeah, so that guy didn't recognise him with his gear on. So we've arrived at Matilda and Enrico's, and their doggies. Got 2 young doggies now. That one, and I think one's called Nico, and I forget the name of the other one. They're very playful. Yes, hello Nico. And Matilda. So we're off now, probably to check in where we are now. Just round the corner. It's about 6 minutes walk according to Google Maps. But because I had stuff, so that's their front gate, and yeah, so yeah, so then we got in, checked in with Salvo, I think, chatting to Samantha, checked into our rooms. Yeah, my laptop for one of them, and my tracker. So I'm probably checking it where we went, and oh yes, a fountain, and yes, a little house if Samantha wants somewhere a bit different to sleep. Lovely garden, and a swimming pool, of course. And yeah, absolutely lovely place. And there's, I guess that's Etna in the background. Yeah, quite hazy, but yeah, I'm checking out the fountain. Yes, that was quite useful later. And that's the bedroom with this laptop in the corner. But I think it's the Chromebook I'm using at the moment. Yeah, so that's looking on where we went. And I think that's probably, yes, that's where we are now. Poggia Felici B&B. So carry on. So that's, to go round to Enrico and Matilda's, is, according to that, a 6 minute, is it? Or, oh, well, that was 1 minute if you went by car. No, not by car. That's more like it. 6 minutes walk. Yes, so I go ahead of them, and I think we set off at similar times. Yeah, so we're round, and we'd been invited to go round there for evening dinner. And yeah, in their lounge, lovely place, of course. So they're back with the doggies. Hello, that one's Nico, I think. A very playful dog is. I think they're not much more than a year or two old, so, maybe a couple of years old. Lovely wild back garden with a drop out the other side. You've got to be careful of. And a wilderness. We didn't walk down it this year, but we have been there on previous occasions. Looking back at the house, so a relatively new house, been rebuilt to withstand the tremors of earthquakes and things when they happen. Oh, that was a picture that of Toadie on guard duty that Saskia had taken and sent to June. Yes. Whoops, went back a bit too fast through that, but not to worry. That was probably Nico. Hello, Nico. Yeah, so now having a lovely dinner, various dishes. Yes, watched by doggies. Somebody allegedly popped some food. Oh yeah, and some Prosecco by the look of it. Matilda and Enrico. And doggy. Oh yes, he kept dribbling on my trousers. You know, people think, oh dear, Robin can't contain himself. But yeah, that was the doggy. I wouldn't say begging is the right word. So, dogs are either relaxing or playing. Went through the various dishes. Very enjoyable. Obviously, it's getting darker. And then we saw something which I thought was above the horizon. And it just like a lot of lights. Now, at the end of it, it turned out it was a ship. Now, these pictures won't work very well, but you can see that, he said. You see that pattern there. Well, my camera didn't do it justice, but you could see it was a lot of small lights. And I thought that was way above the horizon. And Enrico got his binocular set up, and he said fairly early on that it was a passing ship. and it's just that I didn't realise the horizon was that high. I think Enrico said we were about 500 metres. I was rather puzzled by that. First I thought it was something like a cluster of drones, but clearly out to sea. And then it worked out what it was, because over a period of tens of minutes it shifted. And then that was Matilda showing a picture of what the problem is of, if the Mona Lisa had been in this area with all the good food, what she'd look like. That is clearly Mona Lisa, but I don't think that was Leonardo's version, if I've got it right. So, oh yes, the lovely flowering stuff outside apparently brought on June's hay fever, but it was lovely. Yeah, so we were relaxing outside, checking the tracker. Yes, that showed where we'd been, all over the place. Like that, that was without the map. Look at that zigzag path of several times around to get where we were aiming for, which is Villa Romano, but going several times around. And that's it with mapping on. Oh yes, I had a little limitation with the Wi-Fi capacity. Switched to June's hotspot. And yeah, so that's showing the walk around Villa Romano and their journey then back towards Catania, and until we got to where we are now, just here. That's me walking around, and there we are in the room, and that's the picture, I'm pretty sure, that signs it off. Let's check. Yes, it is. So that's all. So it sounds as though the women are still outside. Yes. So say wave, because we're off soon, and we'll see if June can put this up onto her YouTube channel.